Buddy, it's Bob Takano, and I'm making this video to announce that I would like this channel, this YouTube channel, to take a new path forward. I have to apologize that I haven't posted recently, and even though I haven't, we actually got an increase in membership on this channel, so I appreciate that. But I'm ready to go. I've got a new path forward, a new emphasis that I would like to put into place. So let's get started on this. So what I'd like to do is revive a little addressed path. And that particular path is coaching education. Because there really isn't too much talk about coaching education. And historically, the United States weightlifting program has not had a robust coaching tradition. Um, there actually were no weightlifting coaches in this country. Oh, until maybe the 1970s, there were a few odd people here or there that were attempting to coach, but it was not a normal part of weightlifting development. And if you look back on the great USA teams of the post World War II era, almost none of those people had any kind of coaching at all. The only one that comes to mind is Pete George, who was coached by the Barnholt brothers in Ohio. But otherwise, we have a very, very limited history of coaching and an even more limited history of coaching education. Now, who can benefit from this new direction? Uh, New coaches or anyone considering becoming a coach. And there are many of you out there, I suspect, who would like to get into coaching. You maybe found that you can't recover as well as you used to when you were a lifter, but you'd still like to get involved and you'd like to help others become better weightlifters and not make the same mistakes that you made. Any intermediate coaches that need more help, if you've got athletes that are on the brink of competing nationally or maybe even internationally, and you'd like to know a little bit more that's going to help them to perform well at that level. And even advanced or elite level coaches can use some help. Interacting with other coaches that have been there before is certainly going to be helpful. Now, also, strength and conditioning coaches who might want to learn more about how coaches develop in the sport of weightlifting and how it might apply to what they're doing. And then finally, any sport coaching enthusiasts. There are some people that I've met over the years that are just interested in how coaching takes place. So we've got somewhat of a population out there, and I'd like to get them involved. Now, if you're starting out as a coach, the situation that you're finding is that there's plenty of training information available, but most of that training information is about how weightlifters should train. It doesn't tell you as a coach how to get weightlifters to train or what you can do to enable them to train more effectively. And there's very, very little coaching education material available. Now, you can learn all this stuff on your own, but it means that you're going to go down a lot of rabbit holes. A lot of the stuff is not going to work. You're going to have to learn from your mistakes, and you're also going to have to learn how to quit on the rabbit hole when it looks like it's going nowhere. By nature, those of us that get involved in weightlifting are rather stubborn, and so we have a tendency to stick with something longer than we should. And everybody that's a top level coach in this country has done the same thing. The coaches in my generation, we've spent decades learning this stuff, and a lot of that time was wasted. So I'd like to know what obstacles you're facing in your coaching pathway as we move forward. Now, the large hurdle that lies ahead is cutting through all of that noise. Um, Social media has turned everybody into an expert, and everybody's putting up stuff. Some of it's valid, some of it's not. Some of it is only unique to a specific situation. And while it may have worked for one lifter, it may not work for you. So you need to learn how to filter. And that's part of coaching education as well. And then you may find something that actually works, but then where does it fit into the program that you're using with your athletes, or how do you take all of these disparate parts and mold them into a cohesive program that works not once but over a prolonged period of time? So keep in mind, this is not a coachless sport. If you've got an athlete that's super talented, they might make it up to national level, maybe even win a nationals here or there. They might even make a minor international team. But you have to realize that all of the folks that you see on the world stage, on the podium, winning medals, have all of those folks have been coached. They've had people that made the good decisions for them. They didn't have to look around for solutions. Those solutions were already presented to them. So achieving one's full potential, whether you have great talent or not so great talent, it still requires coaching. And if you're going to be a coach, you owe it to every athlete that you coach to enable them to reach their full potential, whether they have world class talent or less. So, if we look at the pathway, if we look at internationally, most professional elite weightlifting coaches have mastered a university curriculum of weightlifting coaching. I've talked to a number of those folks. Some of them have had PhDs in weightlifting coaching. It's a rigorous science based curriculum, and the admission to the program requires proficiency in not only science but also mathematics. We can't do that here. That's not ever going to happen. The best American coaches, the ones in my generation, have learned their coaching from decades of coaching through trial and error. And they've done it by working with a wide spectrum of talent and throwing out what doesn't work and keeping what does, and then amalgamating that into a system. Now, the USAW L1 and L2 courses are a starting point, but much learning is required if you are going to become the coach your athletes deserve. So keep that in mind. You may have passed the L1 and the L2, but that's just the beginning. That kind of shows you where you need to be going. So my emphasis up to this point has been primarily on weightlifting coaching. I'm a member of USAW's Hall of Fame. I've coached thousands of lifters. I've ended up with 4 national champions, several of them national record holders. I've been on the coaching staffs for 5 world championships. As far as coaching education goes, I've been teaching the L1 and L2 courses for over 30 years. And what that means is that I've had contact with people that wanted to become coaches over a long span of time. So I kind of know what the population is like. I've been writing instructional articles about weightlifting since 1974, and in the last few years, quite a few blog posts. And I ran a coaching internship program at my gym, and out of that, we produced 51 people that went on to become weightlifting coaches. So, what can lie ahead for you if you are a prospective coach? What type of coaching materials do you need? I'd like to produce those and make them available, but I need your feedback. I need to know what are your problems and obstacles, and then help you realize that the path ahead is maneuverable. And even though you know it's going to take a lot of work, we can eliminate a lot of the rabbit holes and a lot of the wasted time. Looking a little bit further ahead, I would like to get those of you that would like to get into coaching to form a community, because one of the best ways to learn is to interact with other coaches that have been down the pathway before. And even the veteran coaches learn a lot from each other. We used to have coaching clinics at the Olympic Training Center, but those haven't been held in a while, and I don't see that they're going to happen anytime soon. So let's see if we can do something as far as forming a community online, and perhaps we can come up with some new ideas about how information can be exchanged in that way. But I need to have your feedback. I need to have you provide some commentary on this particular channel. And so I can read those and see which direction I need to go to become a more effective mentor in the coaching education process. So I want to thank you. I hope you'll join me. Uh, I hope you'll put a like and that you'll subscribe to this channel. And let's see what we can do moving forward to help USA Weightlifting by better educating coaches.